Alright guys, welcome back to another video from the Peak Fiction channel. In this video, we're going to be ranking the top 11 Titans in Attack on Titan. And of course, this right here is probably going to be controversial. But regardless, on top of the top 11, we divided all the Titans into tiers. It starts from E tier and then goes all the way up to A tier. Now at number 11, the weakest Titan out of them all, the Pure Titans. The Pure Titans are pretty much the mindless Titans that we did see for mostly the beginning seasons of Attack on Titan. As I said, majority of them are mindless, but there are the abnormal Titans that actually do like sprint towards one direction or have another unique proclivity that they do actually have. Most Pure Titans were actually soldiers that were turned into Titans, and all of them were actually human at one point. And the reason why they go around and eat so much humans is not necessarily for sustenance, it isn't necessarily for a bunch of energy, but they're pretty much hoping that they eat a Titan shift so they can one day turn back into a regular human being for 13 years.
Now moving into our D tier, we have the Cart Titan at number 10, which is wielded by Pete. Now the Cart Titan isn't just some bad Titan by any means. It's actually one of the most useful Titans since it has crazy endurance, allowing the user to stay in that form for much longer than the other Titans. And Marley also equips it with weapons that humans can control on the Cart Titan's back, which can be very powerful as these cannons nearly one-shot Zeke. And I'll even praise Peak for coming in clutch for her teammates countless times. However, on its own, the Cart Titan is simply not as good at fighting as the other Titans. It's pretty fast, and with her intelligence, I'm sure Peak could kill plenty of Pure Titans by herself, as Pure Titans are pretty weak, and I'm sure she could kill some humans too. But without humans firing weapons on its back, the Cart Titan is simply the weakest fighter of the 9 Warrior Titans. Now at number 9 in the bottom of our C tier, we have the Founding Titan, specifically when it's wielded by someone like Eren who doesn't have royal blood. The reasoning is pretty simple. If you don't have royal blood or aren't touching a Titan with royal blood, then you can't use the Founder's powers. You just become a Titan with basic Titan powers. Like the Cart Titan, you would need another person to make full use of its powers, but this list is based off of what the Titans can do on their own, leaving the Founder pretty low in the list if the user doesn't have royal blood. However, you can still transform into a pretty big Titan, as we saw with Frida when she used it against Grisha's Attack Titan, and you can still use hardening to protect your neck or for hardened punches and kicks like Eren and Annie do, so it would definitely beat up the Cart Titan as long as the user isn't awful at fighting. However, without its main powers, every other Titan can do the same thing in addition to having other unique powers, so we can't put it any higher than 9th place.
At number 8, we're entering the C tier, and the first Titan that I do want to talk about has to be the Jaw Titan. Now this right here was one of the more difficult ones to actually rank, and even though it is in the C tier, this Titan is extremely powerful. On screen, the Jaw Titan was originally held by Marcel, then it was passed down to Ymir because quickly Marcel got eaten by Ymir, and then Porco inherited the Jaw Titan by returning the favor to Ymir and eating Ymir, and then eventually Falco inherited the power of the Jaw Titan and literally sprouted wings with the thing. One of the unique things about the Jaw Titan has to be its size. It only stands at 5 meters tall. Now on the surface, this definitely does seem like a complete downside and a weakness, but however, this does give the Jaw Titan some unique abilities. For example, it is insane in regards to balance and agility. This gives the Jaw Titan a different level of change of directions that we don't really see in most of the other Titans. Not only that, the Jaw Titan is literally the fastest Titan that there is, and pretty much pairing together the agility, the balance, plus the speed, it is a dangerous combo. Another thing that sets the Jaw Titan apart is its insane strength. The Jaw Titan, obviously from its name, has insane strength in its jaw and also its claws as well. They're pretty much built strong enough to destroy anything. This Titan is also easily able to actually slash through hardened Titan skin and chomp through the crystallized structure that Annie was in. We kind of seen Porco do that against his will when Eren completely crunched the Warhammer Titan. So when the Jaw Titan is fighting another Titan and they try to harden any part of their body, it'll not be that big of a deal for the Jaw Titan at all. And of course, I understand that not a lot of you guys are pretty much going to take umbrage with the Jaw Titan being this high on the list, probably this low on the list, but pretty much most of the other Titans aren't necessarily specialized for combat. This Titan right here is actually specialized for combat.
Now at number 7, we have what might be one of our most surprising and controversial entries, and that's the Armored Titan, which is wielded by Rayn. The Armored Titan has great physical strength and size, as it's a pretty big Titan, and it specializes in defense with its golden armor that covers most of its body, including its neck where the user resides. This armor is really strong, and any blade that tries to slice it will simply shatter upon impact. Because of this, it's one of the best Titans for fighting humans with the old ODM gear that only use blades, as they were mostly useless against this Titan. However, the armor does not completely cover every inch of the user's body. Some places are left unprotected in order to allow for movement, such as the back of the knee for example. If there was a stiff armor there, then the Titan wouldn't be able to bend its knee to run. These weak points can then be taken advantage of and sliced with the blade, just as we saw Mikasa slice the back of Rhino's knee so that he couldn't walk or run. Furthermore, these uncovered spots can be targeted by thunder spears with the new ODM gear, which can blow open Reiner's jaws and still harm his main body when targeted right next to his armor, protecting his neck, both of which allowed Mikasa and the others to defeat Reina in the Battle of Shiganshina. And while Reina's golden armor is strong and covers most of his body, it's not as strong as the crystallized hardening we see Eren, Zeke, and Annie use. The golden armor covers a wide range, whereas the crystal armor is the stronger, more localized defense. To make a comparison with Naruto, the Armored Titan's golden armor is like a Susanoo. It's a really strong defense that surrounds the user's whole body, whereas the crystal hardening is like Itachi's Yata Mirror. It's Itachi's ultimate defense that can block any attack, but it's a literal shield that he has to actively put in front of an attack in order to block it. Of course, Itachi can use both the Susanoo and Yata Mirror at the same time, but you get the comparison. This means that when facing other Titans, if they used hardened punches against Reina, those punches can actually destroy Reina's armor because the crystal hardening is stronger than the golden armor, which is why Eren does so well against Reina in the rematch in Shiganshina. Furthermore, all this armor makes the Armored Titan pretty slow, allowing humans and other Titans to easily dodge Reina's attacks and easily land attacks on him, which as I mentioned oftentimes can break through his armor if the other Titan is skilled enough. This is the Armored Titan's biggest weakness. It's just too slow. Of course, Reina can drop the armor to make himself faster as he did in his first fight against Eren in Season 2, but then he loses his armor for constant defense. In addition, Reina really takes a lot of L's as the Armored Titan. He even loses to Eren before Eren learns how to use Titan Hardening. Eren just out-wrestled him despite Reina's armor, strength, and skill advantage. Because of that, it's tough to really put the Armored Titan too high on the list, although we can blame some of that on Reina just not being as good of a fighter as the other Titan warriors. Technically, Reina can still use the crystal hardening for hardened punches and drop some of his armor to make himself faster like he did in Season 2, which can maybe make himself a more formidable fighter. So, maybe we're being a little too hard on the Armored Titan, but I think its lack of speed and ability to dodge or counter Thunder Spears holds it back too much to go any higher on this list. As for why we put it above the Jaw Titan, the answer is mainly due to the Armored Titan putting up a better fight against the higher entries on this list compared to the Jaw minus a few exceptions, as well as Ymir's Jaw Titan really bringing the Jaw Titan down. Porco's Jaw Titan is very impressive with its speed, agility, and incredibly strong jaws and claws that can even break through crystallized Titan hardening. So Porco might be able to defeat Reina in a fight, and was difficult for the humans to take down, but Ymir's Jaw Titan was nowhere near on that level, and Reina would easily destroy her in a fight. The Armored and Jaw Titan could really go either way, which is why they're in the same tier, but we're giving the Armored Titan the slight edge since Reina does do pretty decent against Eren in all his fights.
At number 6, we have the female Titan. Now, the female Titan is one of the more popular Titans just because of the fact that, of course, it was Annie, and she was involved in one of the first major Titan battles that we did see. The female Titan is very, very similar to the Attack Titan, relatively fast, relatively strong. When it comes to weaknesses, this is one of the Titans that don't really have that much. The female Titan can crystallize parts of her body, extremely good in hand-to-hand combat, and one of the kind of outlier situations that are probably like vault the female Titan way higher up on this list if there is a bunch of other pure Titans around her. This right here would essentially give her the opportunity to call a bunch of the pure Titans to her location, which could help her in multiple different situations. That power specifically is very similar to the Founding Titan. This right here really highlights her adaptation ability. According to Annie, it's relatively easy for her to copy some abilities from the Titans if she does actually consume their DNA. One of the other things that sets the female Titan apart is her high endurance and pretty much flat out mobility. For example, the female Titan literally ran from the coastline of the Paradise Islands to the distant walls, like kind of crazy stuff. The reason why I definitely do have the female Titan a little bit higher than some of the other Titans on this list is strictly off hand-to-hand combat. I think when it comes to a 1v1 battle, the female Titan beats a lot of the Titans on this list. The reason why I have the female Titan a bit higher than the Jaw Titan is because I think that eventually if there was a 1v1 battle, the female Titan would probably get used to the speed of the Jaw Titan. Once that happens, it would probably just completely overwhelm the Jaw Titan. And even when it comes to the Armor Titan as well, because the female Titan is faster, that all kind of just boosts the advantage of the female Titan's hand-to-hand combat. And not only that, because the female Titan has the ability to actually partially crystallize their fists, and we kind of already seen that completely already destroy the Armor Titan, that kind of gives me an idea that the female Titan in a 1v1 battle could probably beat the Armor Titan.
Now at number 5 we have the Attack Titan, which is kind of funny considering its special ability doesn't even have anything to do with fighting, and is just being able to see the future memories of the person who will inherit the Attack Titan next. But despite that, this Titan is a very good all-around fighter. It's pretty big, pretty strong, and pretty fast, and when the user masters Titan hardening for hardened punches, it becomes a very deadly warrior. It might not be as strong as the Armor Titan, but it's able to use its superior speed and hardened punches to defeat the Armor Titan. And it might not be as fast as the female or Jaw Titans, but it's fast enough to keep up with them in battle, allowing it to use its superior strength to defeat the female and Jaw Titans. Even without knowing how to use hardening, the Attack Titan's speed and strength alone allowed Eren to get the upper hand against Reyna in their first fight, and against Annie in their second fight. And adding hardening on top of that just makes it even stronger, which is what earned its spot as the 5th strongest Titan.
At the top of the B tier, we have the Beast Titan. Now, this Titan, in my personal opinion, is one of my favorite, but regardless, the Beast Titan from what we did see in the series was held by Zeke and Tom. Now, these were very, very different type of Beast Titan, just because of the fact that Tom had a Beast Titan that wasn't necessarily equipped to be in battle or be in war, whereas Zeke's Beast Titan was absolutely specialized in war. This guy was one of the strongest Titans when it came to actual war. Zeke essentially honed throwing ability from a very, very young age because he was into baseball, and that right there kind of morphed into him throwing a bunch of rocks, throwing horses, throwing pretty much anything that he can get his hands on. On the surface, throwing doesn't seem that crazy until you get to see exactly how Zeke uses that. Zeke uses his throwing ability in the Battle of Shingansha in the district to wipe out damn near all the survey corps with just crushed rocks. And not only that, towards the end of the Marley Mideast fight, it took out the entire naval fleet of the Mideast allied forces. The Beast Titan also shows its hardening ability. Zeke actually tried to harden its nape in the first fight versus Levi, and then fully hardened it in the second fight versus Levi. And here's where things really got special with Zeke. Because of his royal blood, if a person was given Zeke's spinal fluid, he would then be able to turn them into a Titan, and not only turn them into a Titan, but also control them. The Beast Titan fighting other Titans is definitely an interesting thing. One of the things that the Beast Titan kind of introduces that not a lot of the other Titans pretty much have is the element of long range fighting, and it specifically hinges on the throwing power. If you guys do recall, when the Armor Titan did actually take on the Beast Titan, we've seen multiple scars on the Armor Titan to pretty much show that he got hit with the rocks, and not only did he get hit with the rocks, the Beast Titan was strong enough to actually have the rocks pierce through the Armor Titan's armor. The Beast Titan is also decent in close range as well because it's extremely strong, and even though it's only a couple meters taller than the other Titans, the arm length is much longer, which pretty much gives the Beast Titan the advantage of reach.
And now we move into our A tier in the top 3 strongest Titans. And in third place we have the Warhammer Titan, which has the ability to use Titan hardening to create powerful weapons for offense or defense, such as a bunch of spikes, a giant hammer, a crossbow to attack from a distance, and so on. Where its spikes were able to pierce through Reyna's golden armor, and his hammer was able to break through Eren's crystallized armor and completely destroy both of his hardened hands and smash his head off. So the Warhammer's hardening is clearly very strong, allowing it to destroy the Attack Titan pretty quickly before Meek and the others showed up. Furthermore, since it doesn't grow from the neck, the user isn't hidden inside the Titan's neck, meaning you can destroy it all you want, but it will still regenerate back. This is a double-edged sword though, as once you figure out its secret and find the user's location, you can easily go find them. However, the user can protect themselves with a powerful crystal that cannot be broken by swords, thunder spears, hardened punches, regular Titan teeth, or anything other than the Jaw Titan's claws and teeth or the Warhammer's own weapons as far as we're aware of. So the user is still safe even if you figure out their location. And they can still re-manifest the Warhammer Titan and create more spikes and stuff even after its cord has been severed. And given that Annie was able to keep herself in one of these crystals for several years, you're not going to beat the Warhammer in a battle of endurance, as it can always rest up in that crystal and then keep stabbing you with spikes, and there's nothing you can do about it, except for a few Titans like the Jaw Titan and maybe the Colossal Titan. Now, I know some people might think that the Warhammer isn't very strong because Eren ultimately defeated and ate it, But if Mikasa hadn't shown up and destroyed it the first time and distracted it while Eren observed it, he easily may have lost before he could figure out its weakness, as it did completely destroy his heart and hands and smash his head off. And without the Jaw Titan, he wouldn't have even been able to break the crystal protecting the user. So 1v1, the Warhammer would likely beat the Attack Titan, who was number 5 on our list. Furthermore, after Eren acquired the Warhammer's power, we saw him repeatedly spam its powers, implying that they are clearly useful abilities. It's also another fairly big Titan around the same size as the female Titan and isn't particularly slow like the Armored Titan. It can fight at both close and long range, making it the most versatile Titan that has the potential to defeat any other Titan, humans with swords and humans with thunder spears.
At number 2, we have the Colossal Titan. Now, this Titan right here is essentially held by Bertolt and Armin. These Titans right here are 50 feet tall, essentially a walking nuclear bomb. Whenever the Titan shifters want to actually turn into the Colossal Titan, they have the option of creating a bomb upon transformation or slightly creating a wind gust. This right here was essentially on full display. Originally, when Bertolt attacked Trost, he transformed and it only created a wind gust. Now, don't get me wrong, you could call that powerful. It did knock some cadets over the wall. Later on in the series, when Armin did actually want to use the bomb feature, he used that ability to wipe the Marleyan naval fleet that was at the raid at Liberio off of the face of the planet, disintegrated any trace of this. When it comes to actual 1v1 combat, the Colossal Titan, in my personal opinion, really doesn't lose to much of the other Titans, and honestly, it's very difficult to see anything that could possibly beat the Colossal Titan in a one-on-one battle. The explosion is so strong that Eren and Meek believe that if the Colossal Titan actually did hit the Founding Titan, the huge Founding Titan, it could completely destroy it. Not only that, if the Colossal Titan was actually set off in point blank range against pretty much almost all the other Titans, most of them would get destroyed. One of the unique defense mechanisms that the Colossal Titan actually does have is it emits steam. Now, regular Titans usually emit steam over a wound or something like that, and they usually have like higher body temperature. The Colossal Titan is a completely different breed. First things first, it gets completely hot to the touch. It emits steam from their body, and it kind of acts as an extreme defense system for people trying to attack its nape. We did see Armin kind of test the steam, and he was essentially burnt to a crisp, albeit it did kind of result in Bertolt dying at the end of it. You essentially see the difficulties that anyone would have if they were actually trying to slice off the nape from the Colossal Titan. And I can't even necessarily fault Bertolt too much for losing in a situation like that with the Colossal Titan. He was going against arguably the smartest character in the entire series in Armin, and possibly one of the craziest characters in the entire series in Armin to actually try something like that.
Now at number 1 in our S tier, we unsurprisingly have the Founding Titan when wielded by someone with royal blood, or if someone is touching a Titan with royal blood, like in the case of Eren. Never mind the rumbling that can destroy the world. Even if the user is bound by the vow renouncing war that the first King of Parody created, they still have the ability to alter the structure of the bodies of all subjects of Ymir, which is how the first King of Parody erased the memories of his people, and one king was able to eliminate an epidemic that was affecting his people by simply redesigning their bodies so that they weren't affected by the disease anymore. With this power, the founder could just do the opposite of this and make his Titan opponents succumb to illness, or remove all Titan hardening, which Eren did to start the rumbling, which knocked off Rhina's armor and undid Annie's crystal ball, and the same would apply to the Warhammer's crystal ball and hardened weapons, and so on. And it could probably just make his opposing Titans smaller and weaker, or even remove their ability to become Titans in the first place. And as for fighting humans, it can alter their bodies if they are subjects of Ymir to either make them weaker or alter their memories to make them their allies. So the only real difficulties the founder may have is when facing people who aren't subjects of Ymir that also have really powerful weapons like Marley did. But if they're able to break the vow renouncing war like Zeke did, then they can also use the rumbling to just destroy those people and their weapons. The only Titan that actually has the power to defeat the Founding Titan is probably the Colossal Titan if it makes the first move, as both Armin and Meek believe that Armin could destroy Eren's entire gigantic bony Founding and Attack Titan, thus destroying Eren's main body along with it. And they base this on the ridiculously massive explosion Armin created at the port in Liberio. So if the Colossal Titan makes the first move and activates its nuke at point blank range, it could probably defeat the Founding Titan and probably any other Titan, except for maybe the Warhammer Titan, if it can't destroy the crystal ball protecting the user. But overall, the Founding Titan is probably the strongest Titan, which makes sense given that it's implied to be the strongest throughout the entire series, which is why both Marley and the Eldian Restoration Group we're so hell-bent on getting the Founding Titan's power in particular. But we want to hear what you guys think. How would you rank the 9 warrior titans from weakest to strongest? Do you agree with our list, or at least our tiers, or do you completely disagree and have a very different ranking? Let us know in the comment section below, and also let us know which titan is your favorite and has the coolest abilities in your opinion. But that's a wrap on today's video, so thank you guys for watching until the end. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, like the video, check out each of our individual channels, and hit the bell icon for notifications. This has been Peak Fiction, and we'll catch you guys next time. Bye.